Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah. Happy to hump day. It's the middle of the week already. And it doesn't seem to have much of an effect on the markets. I see the Dow Jones Industrial Average up. And it just seems like it's like a whole different, I don't want to call it a reality. It's just that market just has a, we used to find products like this very so often where they would just go totally the opposite direction of the rest of the market. I remember digital equipment was like that for a long time, for a bunch of years. Everybody would be scratching their head trying to figure out, why does digital equipment, it doesn't have any earnings, and it's trading at $200 a share, which was a demonstratively big number. I mean, it was just a giant number. But it marched on its own. I remember there was a time there was something called, it was a Pennsylvania utility. Did the same thing. It just marched along on its own at its own price. It didn't match up to the marketplace at all. And it seems like now the marketplace doesn't match up to the nature of the financial markets itself. When we look at the currencies and we look at the inflation and we see the unemployment and the lack of growth and GDP being minus in some countries and their currencies are doing fine, like as if it's just another normal day. It happens like that, and it doesn't stop until it stops. I know that's a strange way to say it, but that is the truth of it. It doesn't stop until it does. And then when it stops, usually it's like, yeah, that made total sense now. And that's probably where we are. You can see we're starting off here with the Swiss franc this morning as usual. It's firm. It's sitting there firm. I think it closed in a daily sell yesterday. Now it's climbing again into a daily buy again. And you can see the weekly is after X amount of weeks here. Let's scrunch that up a little bit here for you. Matter of fact, let's see if we can move this around so see what the visibility looks like a little bit better there. And I guess if we move this over maybe? Yes, we'll move that over a little bit like so. There we are. And as you can see right there, it went into the weekly sell right here. And it's really going nowhere. And it's doing this thing we keep on talking about, these channels that a lot of these pairs trades stay inside of. They don't seem to want to go away. And I guess what will happen is one day they will all start to break away from their norm, whatever that norm is right now. And they've been in there for years now. And it doesn't mean that it goes on forever. It just means it's going to go on until whatever changes. Like I said, I mentioned two products. Digital equipment went on. Digital equipment was a very unique computer company out of MIT, out of Massachusetts. And for years, it outperformed the marketplace. And it had no earnings. It was like the way Amazon was, 2 or 3 decades ago. Look at Amazon today. When Amazon ran up to $200 a share, people said, oh, this is insane. They have no earnings. Well, now what's it? $4,000 a share, right? I mean, obviously, money saw a reason not to let it go. Tesla's one of those examples. It doesn't seem to let go. It doesn't really have much earnings. It's like 5 times bigger than like 5 of the next car companies put together. It's an incredible concept. But they have battery technology. And that battery technology has many people in science totally captivated. And in the National Science Foundation in the United States, totally captivated. And so you sit there and you look at it, you hear people on the financial networks talk about selling it short and it's got to come back to earth. Well, Amazon's at $4,000 a share now. When it was at $200 a share, everybody was convinced that it was just ridiculous. Okay? During the internet bubble, it fell to $36 a share, and today it sits around $4,000 a share. I might be wrong. It might be like $3,800 or $3,600 or something like that. But that is what it is, and so that's where we are. Let me check the chat line, make sure I'm not missing any questions by anybody. Oh, there's Middle Age. Hey, Middle Age, how you doing? Well, happy September to you too. Let's see. Well, I'll have to watch Trading Places. Yes, indeed. I've already started posting stuff. Trading Places is that's my 9/11 movie. I tell traders all the time, every year, you gotta watch that. And someone posted a picture of the World Trade Center on fire a day or two back, and what I did is I found that scene. It's a 4 or 5 minute scene of on YouTube of that trading scene where they're trading in the orange juice pit. Then they move over to they move around in a couple pits on the trading floor there. I recognize some of the camera spots since I traded on that trading floor. But yeah, it's getting closer. It's Saturday. It's going to be trading places. I'll probably have it on a couple TVs throughout the day, just letting it run. Trading places, just to be able to see the trading pit again. As I said to Robin yesterday or 2 days ago, I said I reposted that in that person's post on the Facebook, and then I said, may that floor rest in peace. Exactly. All right, so that's where we are. I guess let's just jump into the currencies. But yeah, I'm just amazed at what I see anymore when it comes to the markets. There's no doubt about it. It's they're definitely unique in many aspects. So don't doubt that there is a reason why the prices are being pushed up, and it's obviously because it's a lot of free money out there. And as long as that free money exists, it's going to go up. That's the only way to look at it. And I know that's insane. It's crazy and insane, but it is what it is. Luckily, in the currency pairs, I think that if you'd have to say who were the winners and who were the losers, throughout the quantitative easing, I could say many different things. But the one thing I have enjoyed out of the quantitative easing with the currency pairs is that the 5 or 6 major currency pairs now has blossomed into be like 15. There was a lot more like when I forget, was it 47 or 49 when 47 comes in and asks about the GBP JPY. It's definitely a much more enjoyable pairs trade to trade than to have to trade the euro or the British pound. It really is. It's more consistent, has less daily buys and daily sells. It rhythms for 4 or 5 days, 3 or 4 days. It has a much more natural rhythm to it. Maybe because they're just not that liquid to begin with, and now that the money is constantly chasing after any place to go to for a return, it allows these minor pairs trades that were considered minors and not the majors to have some nice liquid flow, and they start to buy, and they may not be that liquid still, but they're liquid enough now where money wants to come in and trade them, which is really nice because there was a time they used to ring a bell on the trading floor, actually ring a bell over in the currency area, if someone wanted to trade like the Aussie or I'm trying to think about the Brazilian real, or I forget what was it. There was the Mexican peso, and there was a lot of currencies that didn't even trade in a pit. It just was a spot with a telephone. That was it. A pole and a telephone, and they would ring a bell. And there was 4 phones on a pole, and in case brokers needed the phone, and to call to their trading desks. And now, I'm sure. Well, there's no pits anymore to begin with, but you can see it. The Mexican peso is very active. Trying to think, the Australian dollar is very active. They're all very active now. They're not minors anymore. They're part of the mainstream. So anyway, just thought I'd bring that up, and I'm looking for things to understand. I want to understand this market. I always want to understand it. Doesn't matter how good I'm at it. I want to understand it better. I always want to improve myself, improve my trading. I always want to, just constantly be on an aggressive stance forward, not sit back and just enjoy what I have. So, all right, there's the euro, the dollar against the Swiss. You can see it's moving back up, and it was higher too today at one point. You can see J4X. Where's that control at? Right there. There's the mouse. The J4X is showing its same thing. It's trying to move up. Matter of fact, it's got that same saber tooth thing going on, only on an angle. You can see it right there. Same saber tooth stuff going on. And that's what they're doing. You got a green hinky bar. That's pretty cool. We're on a second day. We had one yesterday this on the green. We had a green dot on a down candle, and at the same time, it's firm today and pushing up. All right, where do we drift to now? Let's jump over to the euro. We'll take a look at the euro and see what they're doing. And there it is there. That's been kind of like I've been saying for a couple of weeks now. It seems to be finding its own rhythm that it hadn't had for a long while. Let's slide it over to J4X. Right there. You'll see there are probably a lot of green hinkies on that. Yep. And it's been marching up, staying steady. Doesn't seem to be weakening. It doesn't explode, but it's being firm. I'd like to see the weeklies on my work come out of that sell. It's trying to go back into the weekly sell like it doesn't care, So we move that up a little bit like so. See that right there? Whoa, that's too much. Let's fix that. There it is. And let me do it from this machine instead. There we are. As you can see right here, it's flirting with the weekly sell again. So is this like a 1 week? It's like a dead cat bounce, Just a little action, then they roll over again. Maybe there's just nobody that cares at the moment. There's so much geopolitical activity going on. There's so much money being plowed into the system by the central banks. Again, who knows? Mrs. Yellen hasn't made that announcement lately about who is manipulating and who isn't. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this all marches along here. But we find it extremely dynamically confusing and fascinating. What makes the markets tick anymore? That's the bigger question. What makes the markets tick? All right. And you can see here on J4X, same situation. Like I said, you can see all these green hinkies and the white line through. And it's just marching along the same way. There we are. How about that? Like that. There we are. But I'd like to see this climb back up to really show us that it's getting into maybe a new trend, a nice longer term new trend. We'll see. Let's take a sip of the water here. Now, let's see. Let's fix this like that. There we go. There's September. Let's jump over to the cable. There it is. Now, British pound is up. Yesterday it fought it. We've got a red and green dot, but it's still holding up. Today it's showing a little strength. But again, this is doing the same thing. Now, this thing went into a buy for 2 weeks, stalled out, went into a sell for 2 weeks, stalled out, going into a buy again. That's that lack of continuity. The majors do that. They can do that until they finally figure out where they want to go. Sometimes, remember, they have a lot of GDP, these majors. There's a lot of money running into their country to buy products, things like that. I mean, remember, currencies are needed to exchange goods and services. Sometimes as traders we just think, oh well, we watch them trade, and don't think about why they trade anymore. The fundamentals, as Giannis would say, is pretty much non-existent anymore. It's pretty hard to decide short-term trading through fundamentals, and it's almost becoming harder to do long-term. When you look at the debt load that a lot of these countries have, and the interest rates, and the lack of interest rates. Let's put it this way. There is nothing more than fundamentals in the sense of technical analysis is the only thing that seems to give it an honest direction of all these products anymore. All right, and let's see it on the J4X and see what it looks like there. And there we are. You can see here lots of green too. And we've been in a buy here for a couple days. It's got that strange saber tooth thing going on. And this one's, you know, kind of reaching up. I think we talked about it yesterday, thinking that this was going to be the nature of it, something like this. Goes, dips down a little bit, and then takes off, and we get another high out of it. In this case here, it hasn't even done the dip. It tried to do the dip. I guess it's in the dip right now. It's just being accentuated. Maybe it takes off from here, and we start to really rock. Now again, I would really like to see this thing find its way back into a weekly buy, but it's only Wednesday. Maybe Thursday or Friday it'll start to climb back up in there. If it doesn't, yeah, I have to look at this as more of a dead cat bounce, and what they'll do is just go sideways, and then we go into a 3-day weekend for us at the States, and then that means Monday's going to be really tough, slow trading unless there's some really, really big news out there. I don't know how much big news is going to really pop out. All right. Now, where do we go from here? We go over to the Turkish Lira. Right there. Another product kind of like left in a lurch, you know, it's just sitting just sideways. You see here it's pretty much been just bouncing between this range now for a bunch of months. Ever since the 3 billion got moved out by the former head of banking or something like that. Let's see, what do we got here? So there is the Turkish Lira on the dollar side heading down. I think we are in a daily sell. Yes, 1 day in a daily sell right there, you can see. And 6 weeks in a daily sell. So the pressure is on the downside. Makes sense. Right there. Then we go and take a look at the euro against the Turkish Lira. Oh, I don't even have the dollar Turkish Lira. Let's put that up there first. Right there. So it's moving down for a second day, and we're having no problems with the weekly. It's still in that weekly sell. Then we drift over to the euro against the Turkish Lira. Same situation, 2 days in a sell. It only lasted 1 day in a buy versus the dollar pair that was 2 days in a buy. And you can see here the weekly is just drifting slow and steadily in that direction and not seem to care too much, does it? Now we'll take a look at that over on the J4X. Right there we are. As you can see there, same situation, just a little bit longer. 2 more weeks in a weekly sell than the dollar pairs. And I've kind of attributed that just in a novice, simple way, and that is, just have to assume that obviously the European Union trades a lot more with the Turkish economy than the American economy trades with the Turkish economy. That would make sense to me. It's location, 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 which is a good reason to believe that Brexit was a good thing for England. When they join the Commonwealth again, they pick up 2 billion customers. Aren't we all excited about China because it has 1 billion customers? Well, Commonwealth pays, I think the average income is about $1,500 more a year than the Chinese economy, and it's twice the amount of people. So, when you're on the doorstep of the European Union, why do you need to actually be a member of the European Union when you're already located right next door to it? Get my drift? That's why I've been a very pro Brexit and very bullish of the product constantly. When it goes into a weekly buy, it's usually a great trade, that's for sure. Indeed, indeed. Alrighty. Now from there we jump over to Canadian. Let's see what the Canadians are doing. Right there it is. There's the Canadian. You can see it is kind of showing a little strength against the dollar, which is kind of neat. You know, I mean, it should. We've seen gold going up. Now, silver today is getting pushed down a little bit, but overall, we see that strength. Now let's put it up on here. And you can see, same thing, you know, moving down. Right there. See, same thing, moving down. Not aggressively, but, you know, it's got that right trend to it. And obviously then we kind of drift, and you can see the odd part is that we're in the weekly buy from back in here. And so, you know, the daily buys have been very interesting in this product, but we've not, unless you're trading the binaries or the options, I don't get near it any other way. Don't want to get stopped out, as we always say. And we'll see how this starts to pressure along. Maybe it makes a run back down into this area here. I don't know. We'll see. I don't, you know, just looking at J4X with it, it's trying to tell us it wants to make some type of bottom at the moment. All right, let's see. Now where do I go from here? From here, I want to just take a look at gold and crude, and then we'll go back to the currency pairs just to reinforce the nature of the metals complex, the energy complex, dealing with all this. All right, let's see. Where is it at here? There we go. I think that is right there, isn't it? So let's make that. So we can switch that. We'll switch that over. And there is gold. We're going to show you gold. There it is. You can see gold kind of firm. You know, it's higher today than it was yesterday. And you can see that we're in a weekly buy for 3 full weeks, going on a 4th. So there's definitely strength over in the metals complex. That's for sure. Let me see now. As I eat some roots and berries. Let's take a look at it on J4X. And this is logical. You see the metals complex moving up, and you know, in other words, prices are going up in value. And sure enough, Canadian normally will move down against the dollar. So in other words, it becomes more valuable. Let's see now. Where was I headed at? Oh, I was going to take a look at it on gold and silver on here. There we go. There we go. And there's gold, you know, trading at the 1818. Let's see. Nothing more we can really say about it. It just doesn't want to give up. And when we go back to the metals complex, you'll see where the others are not following this trend whatsoever. Which brings up the case of what we talked about yesterday, or the day before, one or the other. And that is that these products seem to be used as pairs against each other. Take a sip of water. And that's probably one of the stranger things we've been seeing, is that they use it as a pairs battle. It's a surrogate for being the dollar. You know, it has lots of values, a lot of different types of values. All right, now we'll take a look at crude oil and see if that's doing the same thing. So a really interesting headline. What if there wasn't OPEC? Where would oil be? That was the question. I didn't read the article. I was tempted to read the article. I just found it to be a little, you know, it's like, I don't think I want to go into the twilight zone on the oil market. But here you can see the strength that's been in there, and you can see it's trying to roll over as we speak. And then we go over here on Chicago Quant and take another quick look at it. There it is. And there's crude, and it's like literally flatlined for the last couple of days, but still holding up in that daily buy. But we are in 3 weeks now of a weekly sell. It just seems to refuse to really get going along, and we can't even get the weekly to go into a weekly. That's the amazing thing. And look at the daily. The daily's been funny. So the daily's protecting us from the weekly signal. It's the strangest thing, isn't it? I always find it strange how well the math will work. It's very rare that it doesn't. It happens once in a while. You know, 9 out of 10 times, 1.5 out of 10 times, something like that. But look how tight it's getting. It's getting tight like it wants to make a new move. So straddle traders can jump in and start to think about putting a straddle on in the oil. All right. Now let's see what it looks like in Chicago Quant. Right. Oh, that is on Chicago, right there. And there it is on the J4X, trying to roll over a little bit. We'll see if that happens. It looks like it's trying to do it. The main, as we said, the main trend is down. You can see the weekly's been, is that it? Yeah. It's been in a weekly for 2 full weeks now. So, you know, this may be just a dead cat bounce. This product is just so enormous in value and need and desire. All right. From here, we're going to do this. We're going to jump over to the currencies again. We go right to the South African Rand. Should have had it right there. There it is. And that should be going down because the metals complex is going up. Tarzan. Yes, indeed. Look at that. It's going down. It's been a daily sell for what? 6 full days? Going on a 7th. We've been in the sell since here, is it? Right there. Yeah. Put that line in there. So that's been a nice winter chicken dinner. And then we go and we check out the ruble from here. Oh, let's take a look at it on J4X. I like to confirm a lot of times just to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Let's see, dollar, right there. There we are. Wow. Look at the way the Stoke is banging on the bottom. Does that mean that we're going to start to see gold go down again? I don't know. Makes me wonder. All right. From there, we go over to the ruble. Go to the rub right there. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Same situation. It's down here low on it, on the ruble. Same thing. And let's put it up on the Chicago Quant. Right there. It's been in a sell for a few days here. I was saying, where's that at? Right here, I guess that's what it is. This one. It's been an okay sell. Nothing major. There we are. And we're still, we went to the weekly sell back in here. And it's doing that same summer stuff of sideways. No conviction. Oh, I can't wait till the markets, I don't know. As I say, I can't wait till they end up, getting back into the normal. I'm not sure if there is such a thing as a normal anymore. And so there's the ruble moving down, gaining in value again because the dollar is weakening on some level because of the way the metals complex is. And we can show you that in a rudimentary way. There is the ETF for the oh, look at that. Let me give it a refresh. There's the ETF for the dollar index. Did that do it? Oh, it did. Let's try to refresh again. There we go. So it's trying to actually lift today. Interesting. It's been in a weekly buy still. It has not been able to climb into the weekly sell, which is curious in its own right. Went into the weekly buy here, and it's doing that reverse stuff that we see in a lot of products, where the weekly's going one way and the daily has got great conviction to go the other way. That is a classic summer market. Only much more. This one's on steroids though. Normally this is over with about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, but it doesn't seem to stop. All right. Did I do the ruble here? I'm not sure if I did. I don't think so. Let's put the ruble on Chicago. Right there. There it is. Oh, I did do that. I put that line in there. That's right. All right. So there's the ruble. And, as I've always said, I expect the ruble to always do better, solely because of the situation of an educated workforce, many resources, I mean, put those two together, the only thing slowing it down is the laws themselves. It's obviously not as conducive for economic growth. And that's usually the answer to it all. Alright, now, from there, which mouse is it? There it is. We go over to the Mexican peso. Right there. And it's broken the 20 area. Okay, and we're starting to move back down again. Same thing here. It didn't close in a weekly sell there, but it's been in a daily sell since here, maybe? I think that's what it is. Yeah. So we've been in a daily sell since there. And I guess that's the last hump move. Like that. And did this go into a buy there? No, because we had the volatility signal instead. So it's been in the sell since here, and it's just been kind of sideways, and now it's starting to break down. And we're actually flirting with the weekly sell as we speak, right there. Actually, it's in the minus, plot 1 and 4. So we're going to put a little circly thing in there like that. And we'll see how that plays out by the end of the week. Now, you know, things are going to get slower and slower. It's a tradition in the United States to basically like work 3/4 of the week and then start to disappear. So between today and tomorrow, we're going to start to see less and less liquidity. That's all right. The Federal Reserve will come in and do whatever it needs to do. Always reminds me of those stories with the Bank of Japan, where someone goes on vacation and someone forgets that they went on vacation, not the person on vacation, but some like a director or someone in charge of that department, and then the yen makes a move that's not supposed to do, and then they go, wait a minute, where is X? And they go, oh, X is on vacation. It's like, didn't anybody replace him or her? Then they know that she's the one that steps up and buys when it needs to be bought and sold when it needs to be sold. And they go, oh no, we didn't realize that. I find it all funny. It is funny. All right. That's the peso. Let's see. So what do we do? Oh, I know. The yen. Let's see what the yen is doing. There's the yen. Another one that's going in no direction. But at least the weekly is showing some life in it right there. You can see they did try to take it up here at one point. And then let's take a look at it on the J4X. There. So maybe when that goes up like that, that means the dollar's going to go up, and you can see the UUP is showing some life in it today. So we're seeing some buying come in on the dollar. Again, traders, it's going to get it's going to be a bumpy road, just like a bumpy ride, just like in Harry Potter, you know, when they're on the bus and the night bus. It's going to be a bumpy ride. My Jamaican patois is still intact, isn't it? All right, man. All right, and so that is the currencies. Now, I guess we've shown it all. So what we're going to do now is we drift over to the rest of the metals and the natural gas and so forth. So let's do that. Right there. And here's natural gas. Looking at the October contract, see it's making even more highs now. Let's just tighten that up like so. There we are. So we're looking at, I don't know, a couple years highs at this point. Let's go over to J4X and see it. I like that scrunching up of the J4X situation. There it is. Look at that strength. And last time we were up in that territory was like 2 years ago. Excuse me. Let's see, how can we get... Oh, I think we need to... What can we do here? We can do... Make it a weekly. I think that's what it is. Yeah, last time we were chasing after that territory was right there now. And last time we were up in that area was, when is that? That is November, almost a year ago now. It's amazing that we were up that high. Didn't realize it in some ways that they jacked it up. Maybe, no, COVID didn't happen until, that was February, right? Oh, wait a minute. Let's just double check that date. There's 18. That's 2018, isn't it? That's not 2020. Let's just double check that again. December of 2018. So it's over almost 3 years we haven't seen action like this. It's kind of interesting. I'm not sure there's more to be said about that, but so you can see here, they've got nat gas just ripping. Let's see, where do I go there? Oh, I see, yeah. So there it is right there. There's your nat gas. And you see the strength in it. They're just ripping this thing on the upside. Interesting, interesting. All right, now from there we're going to go over to the metals complex. Where is it at? Right there was gold. Gold showing strength. Let's see if silver has turned around since it was what they were doing to it like 4 hours ago. Yep, they have. So we can even get rid of that. Or maybe not yet. We can't get rid of that. But we can move it out of the way. Let me just give it a Control R too. Yeah, so it's just on the edge now. Before it was pushing cleanly through this morning. And so it's coming back up. We can't get this weekly out of the weekly. That's like 16 weeks in a weekly sell. You know, we keep on waiting for it to get into a buy, and gold being a buy simultaneously. And they're both in daily buys, and we're thinking, oh my God, buy with both fists. You know, just reach in and just take it all. But no, it just shows you that whoever's buying the gold is selling this product. Obviously, they're being a little squeezed here right now. Now let's go over and take a look at platinum. Platinum. Right there. And platinum is trying to get into a daily sell. It's 17 weeks in a weekly sell. So, you know, we're not seeing that that good clean action at all. I mean, this is just constantly keeps on reminding us. There's the silver in the J4X. You know, it just keeps on reminding us that that obviously all boats don't get lifted by the same tide. Odd, isn't it? All right. As I eat my berries and nuts. Let's see. Just the fact that platinum is almost like unchanged is something. Let me do Control R on that. Aha. Look at that. The Control R brought it up. So that was like hours ago. Look at that. It's back into the plus side just like the way silver is. Still a little underneath yesterday. It's closed, but it is coming up. You can see right here. Oh, you can't see right there. You can see right here it's coming up. Just would love to see these weeklies turn up on the silver and the platinum. That would be really something. That might be a real sign that I don't know. You know, I as I want to say this stuff, you know, what makes logical sense, I know that the central banks are controlling it at such an aggressive stance that it takes more than wishing at this point. It means that the central banks have to walk away from this, and I doubt they're going to do that. So I don't expect a lot of good strength out of any of these products. And here's where's that? Let's move that over. Here it is. That's the weekly chart on silver. See how it's been just pressuring down. System works really well on the weekly trend just as well too. It has a little bit higher correlation, which is kind of neat. It's like 74%, which is neat. You know, what else can you ask for? I mean, everybody wants the magic indicator, but not everybody's willing to give away their magic indicator. We're all afraid that if it's seen by too many people, it won't be functional. I myself don't have that fear, but I don't have any desire to share it either. Just here at Dukascopy, I share it in the sense of showing you the results every day. All right. So that's the metal complex. So we're kind of done with that. Where should we go from here? Anybody want to see anything? Anybody got any curiosity out there? 47, you have a desire to see your GBP JPY? I do. I want to look at it. I want to see the GBP JPY. I'm just you've had me look at it 2 days in a row. All of a sudden, my curiosity is up too. Right there. That weekly seems to be holding on pretty well. At the same time, we're in a daily buy. You know, just fighting and fighting and fighting. I love the distances between some of this stuff, though. I mean, this is not accurate because I probably pulled these lines and stole them off of something. But, you know, you can see right here. There's probably a buy in here somewhere. How does that work? That might have been a buy. Yeah. And the next day it went right back into the sell again. And then there's probably like, that's not a buy there, and that's not a buy there. The buy is right there, so let's put that buy in. Wow, that was a choppy move, but at least it gives you a couple days of profits each time, which is kind of nice. I like that continuity of it. And I like those minor pairs. Those minor pairs are become very good trading products. DX, we have the UUP, and it's turning up today. Let's see, where's that mouse at again? There it is. So here's the dollar index. And you can see it's down for the day. But the math is starting to turn up. And it's still in the weekly. Let me give it a Control R again. But it's still in the weekly buy, too. Now, the daily kept you pretty honest out of that weekly buy. At least it gave you, gave you protection on the downside on some level. Yeah, I find it curious. You know, this index is made up of just 6 pairs. You know, British pound, a euro, British pound, Japanese yen, Canadian, Swiss franc, and I think it's the kroner. That's how it works. So, you know, it can be lagging, I guess, on some level, not necessarily always, you know, really cutting edge compared to some of these pairs trades that seem to be leaders in many ways. But it actually shows you how much the central banks, when they go to put a position on, they put a position on, and or they offset the position. They want it to stay where they want it to stay. That's what it comes down to. So there's the dollar index. I don't know if there's much to be said about the dollar index because it seems like everything is in such a sideways channel nowadays that they just carry back and forth inside their range and then stop and then start over again. Funny stuff. All right, from here, what we'll do is we will go to anything anybody wants to see, and if not, I will go and look at the stock indices. I think I was starting off the webinar with the idea that none of this stuff that's going on nowadays is logical in any form anymore. I mean, really, it just does not seem to make any sense whatsoever. So the fact that we are seeing what we see, you know, in other words, the crazy action that's going on with the fundamentals not following through on anything is just what it is. I think I said that about the stock indices. The stock markets remind me of digital equipment and Philadelphia Electric. They remind me of both of those, where they went on for years, and you know, and sure enough, you know, it was a fantastic situation out of both of them that occurred. So, that's where we are. Now let's jump over to the stock indices and we'll take a look. We can go to the short term first, like where's that? Right there. And as you can see, the S&P 500 is up 10 full points. The NASDAQ 100, or the Tech 100, is up 47 points. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 48 points. At one point it was up much more today. Let's see, let's just show you. Dow Jones Industrial Average was up no more than, at the London Open or the Frankfurt Open. Basically, you can see here, the Swiss Open was trading in the 35,000, basically 500 area, 480s, 490s. And now it's dropped almost 100 points. Yeah, I thought I saw it up like 200 points at one point. It's close to it. So, or at least 150 points up. So you can see here they're selling down the old stocks, and at the same time we're seeing that same odd characteristic, and that is in the Tech 100 right here. They've sold that down also from the highs of 645 down to 620. Nowhere near the sell-off that they did for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Okay, then as we take a look at the S&P 500 and one Tesla, is it one Tesla or two? It's in a where is it at? Right there, 2 Tesla. Same situation has occurred there. The highs are the 4,539, and we've traded down to 30, so it's dropped 50% almost. That's a pretty big drop. It was up almost 20 points. Now it's only up 10 points. Again, there's not a lot of conviction in any direction. I don't think we have any economic news. Let's take a quick look. See if we have some economic news. I think it's kind of a quiet day when it comes to the economic news. Let's check out Dukascopy and right there. And today has, what are we doing here today? So at let's see, 8:15 we had ADP employment. They said actual, that's maybe part of the drop. 374 forecast was for, wow, almost a million, 856,000. So the number came out at 374. Let's take a look at that at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time and see what that does. We'll come back to the calendar and see what's going on. So right there, so let's see, 8:18. So it is right here, maybe 15. So we're looking at 7:15 right there. The news came out right here, and so the Dow Jones the S&P 500 dropped almost like 45% from that news. Over on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, same situation, I'd imagine. That's probably where it broke. So here it was at, where was it at? Right there, that's what it is, right here. I guess someone knew what was going on from the London hours, because they started selling it down, lifted it up a little bit, and then the news came out right there, and it sold off hard from there. Now let's see what the Tech 100 did. Is that it right there? It's right there. There it is right there. The news came out here, right? Okay, so right here. The news came out right here. And it went up for a couple bars really quick over a 4-minute period, and they hesitated for a while and then finally made the break. But nowhere near what it did on the others, so it it didn't seem to, it didn't have that much of an effect. But you can see here on the actual data, so you can find it again, right there. So ADP, unemployment, actually is not looking as pretty as it forecast. They forecast 856,000 and it came out actually 374. Ouch. It just means normally you would think that they would take the market up. It just means the Fed can buy even more. Buy, and then buy again. Now, in basically another 25 minutes, we have a manufacturing number that comes out. And then at 10 o'clock, we have construction spending, month over month. Also, we have ISM manufacturing. That's usually pretty important. And then we have the oil stuff that comes out at another hour and change from then, hour and 10 minutes. And then from there, terms of trade in, no, that's not it. Total vehicle sales to almost right on the edge of the close of the markets itself, for the day in the U.S. So that's what we're looking for today. Let's just see what's going on tomorrow. Tomorrow, any big numbers? Initial jobless claims, they're going to probably be staring at that also. Non-farm payroll, so we have the unemployment. And I think that on Friday we have the big one. I think that's what it comes down to. I think that's what it is. So then on Friday is the big one. Let's see. Where's it at? This week. How do we do this? There we go. See if we can get the days to jump up there. That's Sunday. Okay, so here we go. So there is Friday. So yeah, I guess we get unemployment numbers tomorrow, the big number, the one that everybody stares at. And there's our, the anticipations right there. They're looking for 763,000 for non-farm payrolls, whereas ADP they were looking for 100,000 more, and lost half a million. Wow, it sounds bigger when you say it that way, So they were looking for 870 something. It came out 370 something. That's a 500,000 less than they were expecting. That's a nice smack in the head. Amazing. All right, so that's our view of what news will be coming out. And so now let's take a look at it on a daily basis instead of an intraday basis, unless someone wants to see any particular product, and then we'll drift off to it. There we are. Right there. There's the Tech 100. Still looking awful firm. The weekly's looking awful firm. It doesn't seem to want to give up anything particular. And we'll put that up on the Chicago Quant. Right. Where's that? Right there. There we are. So then that's there. Let's see what else can I say about all that, because that's just just showing the strength that it's been doing, just like it's doing it here. The strength. All right, now let's take a look at the S&P 500 right there. Same situation, except for you notice the green line is trying to go down and hit the time manifold on a daily basis. But look at the weekly. The weekly's bounced off the time manifold and doesn't really care. And what is it doing? It's just going up in value. It's not going down in value. It's going up in value. All right, now we jump over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there. And what do we have on J4X? Let's put the S&Ps on there just real quick, just to confirm what we've been looking at. There we are, loading up. We'll just show you the Chicago Quant one for a moment. There you go. You can see that. Same thing. They're not really giving this market up. It's not really going anywhere. Look at this crazy sideways action we've had from July all the way out to now, to September. And there's the S&P on a daily basis. Now, obviously, the S&P has been moving up very nicely. Let's just go back to the S&P real quick. that upwardly channeled drive, you know. Definitely firmer in some ways. Then, like I said, let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is much more flatlined. And let's look at it on J4X at the same time. Whoop, there it is. See how that looks. See if it looks like this. Interesting. It looks a little bit more aggressive with the hinkies. But notice, look at the daily. Trying to drive itself down. Oh, no, that's a weekly. Okay, so weekly's trying to drive itself down. That's interesting. Let's see what the daily's doing. Now, we were flirting with the weekly sell at the beginning of this week, but it's moved back up. It'll be very interesting to see if the J4X pushes it into a sell going into Friday. That would be very interesting. Maybe, I don't know. You know, I want to. My instincts tell me, my natural instincts tell me that, geez, it's so overvalued, you got to sell it. But my intelligence tells me, don't fight the Fed. You just can't fight the Fed. If the Fed wants to buy this thing, they're going to buy it. And there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing. Zero. I mean, nothing. And that's crazy, you know? Oh, yeah, let's take a look at that. Let's take a peek at that. Let's see, where's that mouse at? There it is right there. There we are. And let's put these all back together again. There we are. And let's open up JO, see what they're doing with that. Right there. And there is tags. Let's see what JO looks like. JO is breaking down a little bit. Let's see what Control R. Are they making any quotes in that thing or what? Let's see. Nothing yet. Let's see. I've got JO quoted at 53.38 bid with a 54.09 offer. What's that? 62. That's 71 cents wide in the market. 71 cents. So they have not made a trade yet. The close yesterday was 53.76. So it's basically if they hit the bid, it's 40 cents down, and if they take the offer, it is 35 cents up. And that seems to be what they're doing here at the moment. Interesting. Alrighty, traders. If nothing else, we will get out of Dodge here. We will get ready to go trade today. Where's it at? Right there. As you can see, they're trying to size up things. The stock indices are starting to move around. I hope that helped out there, Middle Age. And we will all see you tomorrow. So this is Doc from North America saying arrivederci. Catch you on the flip side. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Ta-ta for now, traders.